This is about an unusual poker accessory. It's a mask that helps people keep a poker face. This was made in 1937. The German annexation of Austria happened, and after that you see the police struggling to control a cheering Austrian crowd. This was during Adolf Hitler's visit to Vienna in March of 1938. NBC radio sound effects technicians are capturing the sound of an automobile accident in the 1930s. Children play doctors. Night fishing, 1948. Miss America 1922, Margaret Gorman. There she is, the very first Miss America. Margaret Gorman wears her best Americana outfit on September 6, 1922, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. A travelling knife sharpener is with a customer. This is in the United States, in the early 1910s. Two kids are ignoring the artwork at the San Francisco Museum of Art. One child is wearing a blue jacket and the other is in a red jacket. There was a Soviet woman who lost 7 sons during World War II. Jack Albertson, Red Buttons, Ronald Neame, Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters and Ernest Borgnine are celebrating Hackman's Best Actor Oscar for The French Connection on the set of The Poseidon Adventure. They're all there with their Oscars around 1972. There's a woman using a stationary cycle from 1921. In the 1920s, women joined the British police force. They were assigned to work with women and children. Their responsibilities included giving aid, gathering evidence, and making arrests. They wore tailored uniforms and hats. Kurt Cobain is next to Ronald McDonald and Colonel Sanders. The White House kitchen, around 1909. German Red Cross workers attending to a wounded soldier who was found by a sniffing dog near Soissons, France during World War I, 1918. Steven Spielberg and Drew Barrymore on set. Albert Einstein and his wife Elsa at their residence in Pasadena, California in 1931. A De Vere was photographed after ascending from the oily interior of the sunken battleship, the USS Arizona. The photograph was taken at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, in the days following the attack on Pearl Harbor, in December 1941. Albert Woolson was the last surviving Union veteran of the Civil War. He enlisted as a drummer boy at age 16. Woolson died in 1956 in Duluth. He is shown in a 1946 photo by Art Hager, longtime photographer for the Brigitte Bardot in the 1950s. Cetshwayo, king of the Zulu, who defeated the British at the Battle of Isandlwana, 1878. Circus performers in an aquarium car with crocodiles, Berlin, 1933. A fireman reenacts a scene as he prepares to climb a ladder, 1853. So, there was a refreshment stand from the 1964 to 1965 New York World's Fair for the Brass Rail Food Service Organization Incorporated. Frank Sinatra, 1958. Families living in their cars in Sacramento, California, in 1940. The Great San Francisco earthquake of 1906 tossed Stanford College's statue of Swiss naturalist Louis Agassiz from a second-story ledge and head first into the concrete. Anne Fenton's having a drink in the bar of the Hotel Marazion in Cornwall, England, with her grey mare Anita. Students in Holland protest bathroom conditions in 1973. James Cameron, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet are filming the door scene from Titanic, which was released in 1997. Mike Nichols, Susie Parker, Rock Europe Dress by Lanvin Castillo, Maxim's Paris, July 28, 1962. Ruth Oliphant, 18, is being interviewed and inspected for the job of car hop girl, delivering orders in fast food restaurants. This happened in Houston, Texas, on the 26th of February 1940. Jewish soldiers in the German army are at a Yom Kippur service in 1915. The Great Promenade Deck of the Titanic in 1912. The place is a Texaco gasoline filling station. Primarily they filled gas tanks. It was the 1920s. All of them picked shrimp at the Peerless Oyster Company. The photo was taken while the bosses were at dinner, as they refused to permit the children to be in photos. Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, 1911. There was a human zoo for the World Exhibition in Belgium in 1958. It was called Congo Village. Mountain Mine, 1889. Danielle Delorme, a French model and actress, back in 1950. On a balcony in Paris, a refreshing break with the family, a Parisian family during the heat wave of the summer of 1937. In 1975, a MiG-21 crashed into an apartment building in East Germany after a mechanical failure. The world's last commercial sailing ship, the Pamir, is rounding Cape Horn for the last time in 1949. George Harrison is playing guitar in 1955. Junkers Larson, JL-12 Aerial Dreadnought, Washington, D.C., October 22, 1921. There's a Hungarian anti-Czechoslovakia protest happening in Budapest during the Sudeten crisis. They're holding up photos of leaders who want to dismember Czechoslovakia. This was in September of 1938. A typical American family in the 1950s, Detroit, Michigan. It's 1917. Alfred Hitchcock and MGM's Leo the Lion, 1958. There's a photo of Hitler at the Kaiserhof Hotel just before he was made Chancellor. He was trying on evening dress. This was in Berlin in January 1933. Matthew McConaughey at Longview High School in Texas in 1988. A Russian woman is wearing her traditional dress around the 1890s. The World Trade Center under construction, March 1972. The description is of feeding at London Zoo in the 1930s. Flooding in Elmira, New York from Hurricane Agnes, which made landfall days earlier along the Florida Panhandle in June 1972. There's a bed with a makeshift roof in the May Avenue camp. This reflects the hardships of the Great Depression. It's in Oklahoma City, July 1939. Marilyn Monroe in 1954 was visiting injured troops. Americans of Japanese descent, infantrymen of the 442nd Regiment, run for cover as a German artillery shell is about to land outside the building, 1945. Alright, this is an exhibit from the Department of Agriculture for the World's Poultry Congress in London. It was in 1930. There are 3 kittens cuddling right in front of a giant fish tank. They're eyeing a very large grouper. This was in 1952. Helena Bonham Carter, 1986. A little girl is walking with penguins. The zoo director walks the penguins through the city every week to attract people to the zoo. This is in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1950. Trinity test fireball 0.044 seconds after detonation, July 16th, 1945. There's a white girl from a wealthy family and her slave nanny. This is in the USA in 1850. Winston Churchill, General Sir Bernard Montgomery and his dog. A medic is carefully feeding two baby birds. The birds are tiny, with beaks open wide, and they appear to be hungry. The medic is holding a small flat tool, probably a feeding instrument. The birds are in some kind of nest, maybe made of twigs, or something similar. There's a Chinese American who wrote a note. The note says he's Chinese, not Japanese. This was to avoid harassment at work during the 1940s. Blood and Soil. Argentina, born German Nazi ideologist Richard Walter Darré, is addressing an agricultural meeting in Lower Saxony. He was an advocate of Lebensraum into Eastern Europe back in 1937. During the 1920s and 1930s, sheep were routinely introduced into London parks to keep the grass under control and reduce mowing costs. John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline Kennedy, President and First Lady of the United States, 1954. NASA astronauts relax aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger, 1983. There's a 12-inch watch in an oak case. It was supplied to the Great Western Railway around 1930. A Bersey electric cab is waiting for passengers, a symbol of innovation and the fleeting early attempts at electric transportation in London. London, England, 1897. A British soldier is scolding a German civilian because she's laughing while they're watching a film about the conditions in concentration camps. The soldier ordered her to watch the film again. This happened in May of 1945. Soviet Marshal Klement Voroshilov is showing the Sword of Stalingrad to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, while Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin look on. Voroshilov accidentally dropped the sword in November of 1943. There's a group of children outside the Oval cricket ground. They're peering through the gates and they're writing down the scores. This was in the 1930s. The legendary Soviet Georgian water polo player Petrem Shveniradze with his grandson, 1990. Manhattan, a Volkswagen with a Rolls-Royce grille. This was in New York City, 1976. Interrogation of Soviet soldiers detained drunk in the United States Zone of Responsibility in Germany, 1949. A 12-year-old barber works in his father's shop in Boston, Massachusetts in 1917. Collaborators and women who are believed to have had relationships with German soldiers are being rounded up and publicly humiliated by resistance members after the liberation of the Netherlands in 1945. Men are unloading king crab off a fishing boat in Seldovia, 1964. There's a child dressed in a tiger costume, and this was in Beijing, China in 1919. Britney Spears in Japan, 1999. Paul Newman arriving at the Venice Film Festival in 1963. Oskar Schindler, a Sudeten-German industrialist, is talking to his Jewish workers in Poland before they move to Czechoslovakia. He's going to make a list of 1,200 Jews who will be brought to the new factory, which will save them from the final solution in 1944, playing in the traffic. Trikes and cardboard cars teach road safety in England, 1939. Italy in the garden of Pier Francesco Orsini, 1952. A Chinese-American war worker in Los Angeles wore a handwritten sign on his back to avoid being mistaken for Japanese in 1942. Women are holding parts of the first 4 army computers. It's 1962. A very tall man is posing with little people for a United States Circus advertisement in 1908. A heavy snowstorm blankets New York City, paralysing streets and transforming the urban landscape. New York, 1947. A strange guy is wearing a t-shirt. This is in Canada in 1917. A mother and her children are making matchboxes around 1900. Forced pigtail cutting, Nanking, December 31st, 1911. The funeral for OUN-B leader Stepan Bandera happened in West Germany in October of 1959. Emma Lillian Todd, the first woman to design an airplane. Through bombs and sirens, the Windmill Theatre carried on providing music, revue and ballet performances for the people of wartime London, 1940. I see a Santa Claus from around the 1900s. He's creepy. The teenage daughter of an impoverished Arkansas farmer is cooking on an old stove. Her mother is in a tuberculosis sanitarium during the Great Depression. This photo was taken around 1930. Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy, smokes a pipe in 1966. Actress Sophia Loren is serving food at the Cannes Film Festival. The festival was held from April 26th to May 10th, 1955. A moment of relaxation for these civilians and French resistance fighters as they toast the liberation of France Normandy, 1944. A street in the Latin Quarter after a night of clashes between students and police. This was in Paris, France, in May 1968. American baseball players were in the Roman Colosseum during the Spalding World Tour. Italian authorities didn't allow them to play a game inside the ancient Roman stadium. This was in 1889. A one-man band, London, early 1950s. Albert Einstein, 1941. There were Siamese twins in Birmingham in 1932. Marlene Dietrich in a New York studio photographed by Milton H. Green in 1952. Ozzy Osbourne with his son Jack, 1990s. A champagne inspector is wearing a champagne inspecting mask just in case there are any champagne-related explosions. This was in 1933. Before modern car washes, there was an unusual concept. It involved cars driving in circles through water. The idea was to clean the vehicles by soaking them while they were in motion. Leap to free France. Thousands of parachutes, some holding equipment and some carrying men, fill the sky over southern France between Nice and Marseille after dropping from their C-47 carrier planes, 1944. Alright, Alfred Hitchcock does his best Ringo Starr impression in a Beatles wig, 1964.